Imagine knowing exactly how to make a man feel genuinely understood, appreciated, and respected with nothing more than a few carefully chosen words. Not because you're trying to impress him, but because you're speaking to something he rarely hears. Those words have the ability to create an emotional connection that many men spend their entire lives searching for. In this video, I'm going to show you what to say, the best moments to say it, and the psychology behind why it leaves such a lasting impression. Welcome to the Relationship Decoder, where we explore the hidden dynamics of attraction, emotional connection, and lasting relationships. Today, we're uncovering the words that make a man feel emotionally safe, deeply respected, and naturally drawn toward you. There are two things in life you can never take back once they're gone: your time and your words. That alone should remind you how much power every conversation carries. Think about how often a single sentence stays with you for years. Some words become comfort during difficult moments, while others leave emotional scars that never completely disappear. That's because words carry far more weight than most people realize. They have the power to restore confidence, rebuild trust, inspire hope, or quietly destroy a relationship one conversation at a time. A kind sentence spoken at the right moment can completely change someone's outlook, while a careless remark can echo in their mind for years. The amazing thing is that words cost nothing, yet they hold incredible value. Before we continue, take a second to support the channel by liking this video and subscribing. Stay until the end because I'll share one simple phrase that has the potential to touch a man's heart in a way very few words ever can. Picture yourself standing in front of a vending machine. You insert your money, press the button, and nothing happens. Most people don't walk away immediately. They press the button again, maybe give the machine a little shake, hoping the outcome will somehow change. Relationships often work the same way. Many people repeat the same conversations, the same reactions, and the same habits while expecting completely different results. But if you don't understand how someone processes emotions, repeating the same approach rarely changes anything. Men often experience relationships differently than women, and without understanding what truly reaches them emotionally, it's easy to keep trying harder while missing what actually matters. Today, we're going to look at the emotional key that opens a deeper level of connection instead of simply repeating patterns that never bring lasting closeness. A common belief is that men are emotionally uncomplicated, that a few compliments or a little praise are enough to keep them happy. Reality is much more complex. Men often experience deep emotions, but many have spent years learning not to express them openly. They're taught to stay composed, solve problems quietly, and carry emotional struggles without asking for support. Over time, many develop the habit of hiding what they're really feeling beneath a calm exterior. At the same time, many women believe they have to be perfect to keep a man's attention, whether that's through appearance, success, or constantly trying to impress him. But lasting emotional attraction doesn't grow from perfection. It grows when a man feels genuinely understood, appreciated for who he is, and respected beyond what he accomplishes. Those are the experiences that stay with him long after surface-level compliments fade away. Think of a stray animal that has been hurt before. Even when someone offers kindness, it doesn't immediately trust their intentions. It stays cautious because past experiences taught it to protect itself. Only after seeing consistent patience, gentleness, and safety does it slowly begin to lower its guard. Emotional walls often work the same way. Many men protect themselves after disappointment, rejection, or emotional pain. They may appear distant, independent, or unaffected, but those defenses were usually built for a reason. They don't disappear because someone asked them to open up. Trust grows gradually through consistent actions and meaningful conversations. The right words, spoken sincerely and at the right time, can begin softening those walls much faster than pressure, criticism, or endless reassurance ever could. Feeling emotionally safe is often the first step toward genuine vulnerability. This isn't about manipulating someone into falling in love or using clever phrases to control emotions. Authentic relationships are never built on tricks. They're built on understanding how people naturally respond when they feel emotionally secure. Many conversations stay on the surface because people speak only to each other's minds. Lasting connection happens when your words reach someone's heart instead. That's the difference between simply talking and making someone feel deeply understood. If you're ready to discover a phrase capable of reaching places that ordinary compliments never touch, stay with me until the end. And if you're enjoying this conversation, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because what we're discussing today could completely change the way you communicate in your relationships. Most men spend their days carrying responsibilities that few people ever notice. They wake up early, work through pressure, solve problems, meet expectations, and keep going even when they're mentally exhausted. Yet when the day ends, genuine recognition is often missing. A quick, good job, or you're great rarely reaches the part of him that needs encouragement most. What truly stays with him is someone who sincerely acknowledges the effort behind everything he does, looking him in the eyes and recognizing not only his achievements, but also the sacrifices, determination, and emotional weight he quietly carries makes a lasting difference. Those moments tell him he isn't simply expected to perform. They remind him that someone genuinely notices who he is beneath the responsibilities. Feeling understood in that way creates a sense of peace that many men quietly long for but seldom experience. That's why your words carry more influence than you may realize. Spoken with honesty and genuine care, they can strengthen emotional trust, deepen connection, and help even the most reserved man feel comfortable, lowering his guard. Imagine telling him, "I notice everything you do, I see how hard you try, and I truly respect the person you are." Those words go far beyond offering praise. They communicate recognition. They remind him that his efforts aren't invisible and that someone values him for more than the results he produces. Many men spend years wondering if anyone truly understands the pressure they live with. When someone sincerely acknowledges both their struggles and their commitment, it creates an emotional impact that reaches much deeper than ordinary compliments. It becomes something they remember long after the conversation has ended. Many people assume love is what men desire most, but for countless men, feeling respected and appreciated carries just as much emotional weight. Hearing, "I love you," certainly matters, but those words lose their power if they're constantly followed by criticism, dismissal, or a lack of appreciation. On the other hand, hearing someone say, "I respect your character, I admire how hard you work, I appreciate everything you give," touches a completely different part of his heart. Those words don't simply make him feel good for a moment, they reinforce his confidence and inspire him to keep becoming the best version of himself. Respect communicates trust, admiration, and belief in who he is. When a man genuinely feels respected, he often becomes more motivated, more emotionally available, and more willing to invest deeply in the relationship because he feels valued for who he truly is. Of course, knowing what to say is only part of the picture. The moment you choose to say it matters just as much. Genuine appreciation has the greatest impact when it comes naturally, especially after he's faced challenges, worked through something difficult, or quietly carried responsibilities without expecting recognition. That's when sincere words can break through emotional walls that have stood for years. Respect is one of the strongest foundations any relationship can have. If love creates warmth between two people, respect is what keeps that warmth alive over time. Without respect, even the deepest feelings eventually weaken. But when respect is consistently present, love has room to grow stronger because both people feel emotionally secure, valued, and accepted for who they are, rather than judged for where they fall short. Picture a warrior returning home after a long battle. He's exhausted, carrying the marks of everything he's endured. The greatest reward isn't applause from strangers or recognition from the crowd. What matters most is hearing someone he loves say, "I know what you've been through, I see your strength, and I honor everything you've done." That feeling is something many men quietly search for throughout life. Disrespect, even when unintended, leaves a lasting impact. Being constantly questioned, dismissed, mocked, or having sincere efforts overlooked gradually weakens emotional closeness. Some men respond by becoming quieter, while others slowly begin creating emotional distance. In either case, the relationship loses something important. Genuine respect reassures him that he doesn't have to constantly prove his worth in order to deserve appreciation and emotional safety. When a man feels respected, he begins to relax in ways that are difficult to describe. He no longer feels like every mistake will define him or every weakness will be judged. Instead, he feels accepted as a complete human being with strengths, flaws, victories, and struggles. That emotional safety encourages him to communicate more openly, invest more deeply, and build a stronger future together. Throughout history, many successful people have reached their greatest potential because someone believed in them before they fully believed in themselves. Feeling respected gives people confidence to keep moving forward even when life becomes difficult. Ask yourself whether the man in your life feels that kind of respect not only during his best moments, but also when he's uncertain, overwhelmed, or vulnerable. Those are often the moments when your belief in him matters the most. The same principle applies to vulnerability. Many people mistake vulnerability for weakness, but in reality, it requires enormous courage. It means allowing another person to see your real thoughts, fears, hopes, and emotions without hiding behind a carefully constructed image. Life teaches many of us to protect ourselves after disappointment, rejection, or emotional pain. Over time, those experiences become armor that feels impossible to remove. Now imagine two people standing together, both protected by emotional walls built over many years. Each wants closeness, but neither feels safe enough to take the first step. Real connection begins when someone chooses honesty over protection. Vulnerability isn't about having all the answers. It's about trusting someone enough to let them meet the person behind the armor, and that's where genuine emotional intimacy begins to grow. When both people keep their emotional walls standing, real closeness never has a chance to grow. Trust remains distant because neither person feels safe enough to reveal who they truly are. But the moment one person chooses honesty over protection, everything begins to change. It's like setting down a shield after a long battle. That simple act quietly communicates, "You don't have to defend yourself around me. I'm willing to be real with you." For many men, that invitation is more meaningful than most people realize. They've spent years believing they must stay strong, hide their emotions, and solve every problem alone. Vulnerability has often been mistaken for weakness, so they learn to carry life's heaviest burdens in silence. When you openly share your authentic self, you create an environment where he no longer feels pressured to pretend that everything is always fine. Your willingness to be genuine gives him permission to do the same. Instead of feeling judged or expected to maintain a perfect image, he begins to experience emotional safety. One of the most reassuring messages a man can hear is, "I believe in you, and I'm here beside you no matter what happens." Those words matter because they aren't tied to success, failure, achievements, or mistakes. They communicate steady support through every season of life. Many men quietly wrestle with pressure, uncertainty, and self-doubt without ever speaking about it. Knowing that someone believes in them regardless of circumstances becomes a source of strength they often carry with them long after the conversation ends. Real connection doesn't begin when everything is perfect. It begins when both people feel safe enough to stop pretending and allow themselves to be fully known. Of course, even the most meaningful words lose their impact if they're spoken at the wrong moment. Timing often determines whether a message reaches someone's heart or simply passes by unnoticed. Think about planting a seed. Even the healthiest seed won't grow if it's dropped onto hard concrete, but place that same seed into rich soil at the right time, and it has every opportunity to flourish. Conversations work in much the same way. Offering reassurance while someone is overwhelmed with frustration may not reach them immediately. Giving encouragement before they've had a chance to process their emotions can sometimes feel overwhelming instead of comforting. Learning to recognize someone's emotional state allows your words to become something they can genuinely receive rather than something they simply hear. When you pay attention to what isn't being said, you begin noticing the small signals that reveal how someone is really feeling. Sometimes a man doesn't ask for support directly because he's been conditioned to believe he should handle everything alone. In those moments, gentle understanding speaks louder than perfectly crafted advice. Choosing the right time to express appreciation, encouragement, or belief in him creates emotional safety instead of pressure. Rather than feeling like another expectation has been placed on him, he experiences your words as a place where he can finally relax. That's when trust naturally grows. Emotional walls begin to soften, conversations become more honest, and the relationship develops a level of closeness that can't be forced. It grows because both people feel accepted rather than judged. The biggest lesson to remember is that words are never ordinary. They can strengthen someone's confidence or quietly damage it. They can build lasting trust or slowly weaken it. Once spoken, they become part of another person's memories, which is why choosing them carefully matters so much. Men are often far more emotionally aware than they appear. even if they've learned not to express those feelings openly. Behind the calm exterior, many carry responsibilities, disappointments, and pressures that few people ever recognize. When someone sincerely acknowledges those unseen struggles with respect, appreciation, and understanding, it creates a connection that reaches far beyond surface-level attraction. Those moments remind him that he is valued not only for what he accomplishes, but for who he is as a person. Simple flattery fades quickly because it rarely touches what matters most. Genuine recognition, sincere respect, and unwavering belief leave a much deeper impression. When your words consistently communicate, "I see you, I appreciate you, and I believe in you," they become something he remembers long after the conversation ends. Speak with intention instead of habit. Let your conversations create comfort instead of distance and understanding instead of assumptions. The relationships that stand the test of time are often built through these quiet moments of emotional honesty rather than dramatic gestures. As we come to the end of this conversation, remember one truth that has the power to transform every relationship you will ever have. People rarely remember every detail of what you said, but they never forget how you made them feel. A man may not remember every compliment, every conversation, or every text message, but he will remember the person who made him feel accepted when he doubted himself, respected when the world questioned him, and understood when no one else seemed to notice what he was carrying. That kind of emotional impact cannot be manufactured. It comes from sincerity. It comes from slowing down long enough to truly see another human being instead of simply reacting to them. Real connection is never created through perfect words alone. It grows from genuine intention, thoughtful timing, and the willingness to communicate from the heart instead of from habit. So don't focus on memorizing clever phrases or searching for some magical sentence that guarantees love. There isn't one. Words only become powerful when they reflect genuine feelings and authentic respect. If your appreciation is real, your words will naturally carry weight. If your kindness is sincere, people will feel it without you trying to prove anything. A healthy relationship is not built by constantly trying to impress someone. It's built by consistently creating emotional safety, where both people feel free to be honest, vulnerable, and fully themselves. Every meaningful relationship reaches moments when life becomes difficult, emotions become complicated, and misunderstandings appear. During those moments, your words become a choice. You can either create distance through criticism, assumptions, and defensiveness, or you can create closeness through patience, understanding, and respect. That choice, repeated over time, shapes the entire future of the relationship. Remember that every person you meet is carrying a story you cannot fully see. Men in particular are often taught from an early age to hide their fears, suppress their emotions, and measure their worth by what they accomplish rather than who they are. Many become experts at appearing calm while privately carrying stress, disappointment, pressure, and self-doubt. Just because someone looks strong doesn't mean they never need encouragement. Just because they rarely ask for reassurance doesn't mean they don't value hearing it. Sometimes the strongest people are the ones who receive the least emotional support because everyone assumes they don't need it. That's why genuine acknowledgement matters so much. When someone feels truly seen instead of simply evaluated, something inside them begins to relax. They stop feeling like they have to constantly earn love or prove their value, and that emotional safety becomes the foundation for deeper trust. At the same time, remember that respect flows in both directions. Healthy relationships are never about one person constantly giving while the other only receives. They thrive when both people choose to listen, understand, encourage, and appreciate each other consistently. Respect isn't agreeing on everything. It isn't pretending someone is perfect. It's recognizing their humanity even during difficult moments. It's choosing to protect each other's dignity during disagreements instead of trying to win arguments. It's noticing effort instead of only pointing out mistakes. It's believing in someone's potential even when they're struggling to believe in themselves. These quiet acts of emotional generosity often matter far more than grand romantic gestures because they create an environment where love has room to grow naturally instead of constantly fighting to survive. Finally, never underestimate the lasting influence your words can have. A single sincere conversation may not instantly change someone's life, but consistent kindness, appreciation, and emotional honesty can change the direction of an entire relationship. Choose words that heal instead of harm. Choose curiosity instead of judgment. Choose encouragement instead of criticism whenever possible. Let your conversations become places where people feel stronger after talking with you than they did before. When someone leaves your presence feeling respected, understood, and emotionally safe, you've given them something far more valuable than temporary excitement. You've given them peace. And in today's world, peace is one of the rarest and most meaningful gifts anyone can receive. If you become the kind of person whose words consistently bring that feeling into the lives of others, you'll build relationships founded not on fear, games, or uncertainty, but on trust, authenticity, and a connection that continues growing stronger with time. If today's message resonated with you, be sure to support the Relationship Decoder by liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications so you never miss future conversations about building stronger relationships. And if this reminded you of the importance of making people feel truly understood, leave the word "seen" in the comments and let us know you understand the lasting power of sincere connection.